As you guys know on the channel here, I have been doing a series that I call I Got Questions. And this is cool because I got a chance to talk to my buddy who is like 97 time zones away from me. And we're going to do this right now. So, boom. Hello, Alec.
Hey, great to see you.
All right, this is my buddy Alec. We're not going to do the whole bio crap. You guys can look it up, but the link to his channel will be underneath this because I have my series I call I Got Questions. And AJ, the first question I have for you is, what does it mean to you to be a creator like right now?
I've just finished a course, the Ecamm Accelerator, which was a live cohort-based course. And the thing that I got out of that was just those little small things that maybe I know that somebody else doesn't, that can have a transformative effect on somebody's day. And that's what it all comes down to. It's not about numbers or revenue or anything like that. It's about actually having an impact. And when somebody tells me, hey, I used Moon for the first time today and it organized all my windows and I couldn't believe it, that was just like the biggest win of that day for me. So that's what it's all about, really. It's just, helping people and making a difference ultimately.
You know what I was just doing yesterday? I was in Moon readjusting my new layout for Ecamm, and then figuring out that when I start these Zoom meetings, I kept taking the window of the talking person and moving it to the Elgato, and I just made a Moon button for that. So yeah, I've been using Moon before. You made me use Moon even better, and then now I'm still using it to this day. I come up with another idea. Oh, this would be better if it's here. So yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so in that same vein or same light, I watch a lot of content where people are talking about content creators. And one thing that's been bugging me recently is a lot of the conversation when it comes to creators is around the sort of filmmaking creators or the people that are producing these sort of high quality videos. I think when people talk about creators, they don't often talk about creators like us, where we're educator creators, if that's not teachers, like we're not teachers, but how does that, have you noticed this, and how do you align this sort of, like we're almost looked over, but yet we're the majority of the content on YouTube?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. As soon as you started talking about like the kind of ones that are going for that cinematic effect and, doing all of the, the really polished editing and things like this to create, I think that is more what people think about. And I had the educator thing obviously in my head as you were talking there. It is definitely an often overlooked part of things. And, when we talk about, creating content, it is ultimately about the information that you're giving over. That is the most important thing. And I think sometimes it works the other way, where people are so busy trying to create that ultimate polished thing that they actually forget, from educators' point of view, forget about just giving people the information. And I see this all the time when I see people trying to create really highly edited videos, almost where you can tell that they've had in their mind, must be authentic, must be authentic, must be authentic. And so they try and make something that appears authentic. And in doing so, it's actually lacks any authenticity at all. And it's a dead turn-off for me. But where they're more focused on the production as opposed to the information, I think. So
Correct.
there's a double side to that, I think.
It's like losing the plot of the story because you're so focused on the special effects. I'm looking at you,
Yeah, exactly.
World.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so here's another good question for you then, because like you've built your channel specifically when you started on educating people. And the funny thing is, even though I was your coach, I'm doing what you did a couple years back. I'm doing these daily videos, which are driving me crazy. Now I know what happened to all your hair. So when you think of that, like, what is it that drives you to want to teach people, and especially through this media?
It's well, exactly as I said before. When you start getting feedback from people who let you know, like the impact you've had and how it's accelerated their progress, you can help somebody get to their goals a little bit quicker. We've all made mistakes. I make them, by the minute. But if you can just prevent someone else from getting stuck in that hole or whatever it is, then why not sort of pass that on? And that just makes my day whenever I can do that. Funny you mentioned about that, like my origin, if you like, on YouTube. I was talking about you just today in my live stream. I was doing a preview of the event that's coming up and talking about how the impetus for me to do my 100 videos in 100 days on YouTube was before you even knew that you were my coach. When I was watching your videos and you said, don't make any assumptions about metrics and things like that until you've done 100 videos. And so I heard it from you, and then that was where I said, right, let me set that goal and that intention. So it is funny how it's come full circle because you were the inspiration in the first place.
Well, it's also funny because I just made a video the other day talking about, listen, you got to do that 100. And so many people are trying to ask these questions on like how to get out of making that 100. And it kind of sort of doesn't work, bro.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Can you imagine trying to pass or to become an architect without taking the architect exam? I mean, like you got to do it. So if you got to do it, you might as well study. That's funny. I just invoked Pat Flynn real quick. Okay, so this one's a slightly dumb question, but I swear it has a point. What is your favorite movie?
This is Spinal Tap.
He exploded on stage.
Spinal Tap. Okay. All right. That's good.
Gotta be.
It goes to 11.
Well, it's one louder, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here's why this is good. Because I mentioned this the other day in a video, and I just want to get your take on this. When these guys are all, everybody's looking at the gear, right? Oh, I got to get this gear. And now, all the new manufacturers, well, Sony is dropping a new camera. They're late yet, but Canon just dropped one. Panasonic just dropped one as the Lumix, rather. And then Nikon just dropped a couple. Of course, DJI is always doing stuff. Insta's always doing stuff. And so we get really, really wrapped up in the gear. But I swear to you, if you ask any creator or any filmmaker what their favorite movie is, they mention something that was made on a camera that is less quality than this Osmo Pocket 3 over here.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Just by net, if it's older than a certain number of years, then it's guaranteed to be. So,
so you see what I'm saying, right?
In the academy yesterday, we have our office hour sessions in there, and Jeff. So there was me and Jeff, and then there was also another chap, Alex, who's based out of Hong Kong. But me and Jeff were helping him get his lighting dialed in, and he was adjusting all of his his key light and his fill light. And then Jeff just said to him, "What camera are you working with, by the way?" And he said, actually, it's just a no-brand $50 webcam. But because the lighting was so good, like Jeff had no idea that that's what he was working with because he had done his lighting right. And it just again go to prove that you really don't need the latest and
no.
the top end stuff.
And we spend a lot of time dialing that stuff in, and it's kind of like I'm looking at Katie and Paul now on like $120 Me Too's, and they're just like their video looks just like it did when they were on their other camera.
Yeah, they're such cool little cameras. The Me Too.
It's the one thing I haven't picked up yet. I think I want to get to just to stick in my little travel kit. Okay, so tell us a little bit about this summit and how people can register.
Yeah, it's called the Digital Stage Summit from the 18th to the 20th, and it's split over 3 days. And really, it's about, when we are showing up online, I mean, we talk about content creation, but the whole one-take methodology is, I think, the fastest route to authenticity because you can't help but be yourself, ultimately. But once you're doing this, and whether it's for recorded videos or live streaming, it's a totally transferable skill into your online meetings, webinars, events, and all of that kind of thing. So that's what I talk about with the digital stage being just this platform that we have, whichever physical platform we're on, it's this medium, I should say, that we can leverage. And whatever we're doing, we're ultimately trying to impart some value. So whether that's as an educator, whether it's as in sales or whatever the case may be. So the Digital Stage Summit is all about the tools that we need to do this. So day one's focused on the tools and the techniques, the toolkit that you need to be more effective with a video-first online presence. And then obviously there is a certain element of on-screen skills that you need to develop as well. And that's going to be the focus of day 2. And if you are out there delivering value and you've found your ikigai, well, obviously there's one part of that, which is you need to be able to get paid for it as well. So day 3 is all about the business growth side of things. So yeah, just an amazing lineup of speakers. Obviously, the one and only Doc. You're going to be there, and a panel leader as well. But just so many. Honestly, I can't believe how many awesome people we've got. Luria Patrici, Kat Mulverhill. Just the list goes on. So it's digitalstagesummit.com that you can go to get access to that. It's a free event for 3 days. I keep sort of making it slightly longer. It was going to run from 9 till 5. Now it's running from 8 till 6. We might be adding another one because we've got some folks in Australia might want to do a session as well. So it's going to be a full day.
Dude, that's awesome. You must have had a good coach because you said ikigai correctly and not ikigai.
Ikigai, yeah, ikigai, yeah.
All right. All right, I swear, this is the last and final question. This is really good. This is really good. What do you see as like the one thing that you wish you could go back and get every creator to understand?
Oh, that's an interesting one. I think it's probably understanding like what their reason is. You mean we just talked about the ikigai there, but like what is what is their reason behind what they're doing? I think that some people do lose sight of that, or they maybe follow what other people are doing, and because they think that's the path. So sort of taking a step back and understanding like what's the bigger picture, how's it all going to fit into your longer term sort of vision, really. I mean, that isn't kind of what I did. This grew out of me practicing the process of making videos on my channel, and then it revealed itself to me. But then since then I've taken a step back and made sure that it is in alignment with my bigger picture and how I could then course correct the path that I was on to then take this slightly different route to get there. So yeah, being aware of the overall purpose that you've got in everything you're doing, I guess.
Yeah, dude, I love it. I love it. We often talked about and used to say this a lot, being a recovering perfectionist. And, I think a lot of us are held back because of that absolute fear. And I love the fact that you use course correction, because I use that terminology as well. But I just always want to highlight to people that it's not failure, it's calibration. Right.
Yes.
You have no idea what to fix unless you know what's wrong. And what I learned eons ago, which really, really saved me as far as being a creator, was you need to ship it and then adjust it according to feedback. But if you have it just held in, you're not letting it out, you're never going to get the feedback. So there's no way for you to get better, right? You really have to ship whatever you ship. And as we know now, computer companies and game companies do it all the time. That first 2 weeks of iPhone is waiting for Apple to go and do fixes. So, you know exactly what it is.
That analogy of where there was I think it was a ceramics class at some university or something. It did an experiment where they said, right, this group, you've got 6 months, and your objective is to make the perfect piece of pottery, basically. And then they gave the other group and they said, right, you've got 6 months. Your task is to make as many pots as you can. And the ones that made as many pots as they could ended up making the best piece at the end of 6 months, just because they've been going through the steps. So it's all about shipping.
Dude, as somebody who's thrown pottery, trust me, getting that thing to sit in the center is so hard that I bet you if you did it 100 times though, then you get it. And when I go to Japan and I watch people make, like we just saw when on our last trip, the old lady just like doink right in the middle. Her thing is perfect. And I'm like, it takes me 10 minutes just to get it into the center of the wheel. And she would just pick it up, doink it down, start spinning. And I'm just like, all right, gang, this is it. Big ups to my buddy, Alec. I call him AJ. I call him Pumpkin. I got all kind of names for him. But I'm going to put his info down below so you can find out. I'll put info about the summit down below. And if you watch me on social media, I'll be posting little graphics of me going, I'm going to be speaking in this session. This has been another video in my I Got Questions, and I believe collaboration is one of the most important things that creators can do, and many people forget that. So if you want to be featured on I Got Questions, drop me a line. And you know what we say, Alec, all my videos, I don't know who needed to hear this, but if it was one of y'all, write that down in the comment section below. And right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video they think you should watch. And I agree with him.
I need to know everything. Who and the what and the where. I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but I like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George. I hop in the Porsche, it's 5 and a horse. I'm ready for war. I'm coming for throats to turn to a ghost. I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet.